The media will never cover it, but I think Biden at some points you can't tell if the wheels are going to come off the bus. He's stuttering and mumbling through words. He's stumbling through words. He's forgetting things. And the only person who even gently pointed it out was Julian Castro by saying, you just forgot what you said 2 minutes ago. But of course, CNN's going to declare Joe Biden the winner. Joe Biden is their king. They want Joe Biden because they know the status quo will remain. If preferably, I think they want Trump because Trump is good for business. Another 4 years of Trump equals fear ratings and fear clicks because everybody will be glued to the TVs, very worried about dictator Trump unshackled by he won't have to worry about getting reelected again. But if not Trump, they want Biden because they know Biden is just more of the same. He'll say a few progressive things now and then, but the donors will still run everything, and he's not calling for a revolution, and CNN's fine about that. But to me, in part because Bernie allowed it, I think the person who had the best night, I think it won't matter because I don't think he's going to win the nomination. I think Julian Castro had the best night. And I think he's going to rise in the polls similar to what we saw with Kamala Harris. Because Julian Castro was aggressive and he went after the polling king. He went after Biden. I mean, I have been saying, and Status Quo, if you watch us, has been saying for weeks, the corporate media and the journalists are being irresponsible. These are not gaffes from Joe Biden. He is not cognitively well. I don't think that's a controversial thing to say. Anyone with two eyes can see he's forgetting words. In some cases, he's forgetting where he is. Tonight, in the first 40 minutes, I tweeted out, he forgot Elizabeth Warren's name, he forgot Bernie Sanders' name, and he forgot that he had said you could opt in to his health care plan. He forgot two people's names. He called Bernie Sanders president. Not to mention the last few weeks where he forgot President Obama's name. He said he was in Vermont when he was standing in New Hampshire. He forgot the names of the two cities that had mass shootings within 24 hours of each other. He's called Angela Merkel Margaret Thatcher. He's called Theresa May Margaret Thatcher. He called Donald Trump Donald Hump. I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to diagnose Joe Biden with something. But frankly, because these journalists, who are not journalists, they're propaganda merchants, pretend all they care about is keeping access to Joe Biden and by extension remaining in, not being kicked out of the club. The club is the establishment. Washington, D.C., New York City, because they don't want to lose access, they won't dare point out he's not well. He's not well. So there was several times in this debate where Joe Biden was stuttering and mumbling, and nobody said anything. Castro is the first candidate, and I'm sure the moderators are going to go after him. I'm sure all the pundits are going to go after him because they are there to protect Joe Biden. They will drag Joe Biden's lifeless body to the finish line to make him the nominee, in which he will lose to Donald Trump because he's not cognitively well. I'm not declaring him with a diagnosis of something. I'm not a doctor, but I do have eyes. But Julian Castro's comment against Joe Biden, did you literally forget what you just said 2 minutes ago, was absolutely devastating. It said in words what every single person who has been watching Joe Biden knows, that he is not cognitively well, that his memory is fading, and that he is not the sharpest or most vibrant or cognitively well person to be running against Donald Trump. By the way, this is not about whether you're a progressive or a neoliberal. This is not about whether you're a Bernie supporter or somebody else. This is about, do you want somebody who, frankly, has expired mentally? And by the way, I know some of you do. I don't wish Joe Biden like anything bad to happen to him mentally or physically. Like, I don't agree with him politically. I think he's a fraud. I think he's part of the plutocrat oligarchy. I don't wish anything bad health-wise. But if you want to beat Donald Trump, the way to beat Donald Trump is not to have somebody who clearly is not well cognitively. So I think, Julian Castro, let's face it, is totally full of it. I mean, as HUD secretary, he was selling foreclosed homes off to Wall Street. He's not a progressive. He sounds nice. He looks nice. He's good and caters to the Latino community. He's no progressive. But that was the best moment of the night as far as a candidate standing out. I'm not watching right now what the pundits are saying. I'm sure they're attacking him for being ageist and this and that. Listen, anybody watching who saw Biden literally forget what he said 2 minutes before would look at the contrast between Castro and Biden and say, that was sharp. Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statusquo.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statusquo.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.